Today we are in Genesis chapter 3. We're going to see how sin entered the world, and I'll be giving a short summary of the entire chapter. Now, when you read from verse 1 all the way to verse 3, what you need to know is that there are three individuals in this scenario. Number one, it is the woman. Number two, it is the serpent. And number three, it is Satan, who was inside the serpent. Now, I don't know if this next point is true or not, but actually just let me know in the comment what you think about it. You see, some people say that the serpent, even without Satan controlling it, had the ability to talk. Because you see, when the serpent begins to speak to the woman, she's not surprised that an animal is speaking to her. Remember, she did not know that Satan had possessed the serpent. Now, verse 4 through to 5, we see the deception that Satan used to trick the woman. If you don't know what a deception is, it's actually a truth that has slightly been twisted to form a very good lie that is very hard to detect. Now, going to verse 6 through to 7, we see the fall of man, which was constituted in three ways. Number one, it is the lust of the eyes. Number two, it is the lust of the flesh. And number three, it is the pride of life. The lust of the eyes was when the woman saw that the tree was good for food. Number two, the lust of the flesh. This is where she saw that the tree was pleasant to the eyes. And number three, the pride of life. The tree had the ability to make one wise. Then the Bible also says that she gave it to her husband with her and he ate. Meaning that Adam was there listening and observing everything that was going on. So Adam fell because of unbelief. He did not believe what the Bible had said about the situation, what God had said about the situation. Now, this is why 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 14, it says, "And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived fell into transgression." Now, when you look at Genesis chapter 3, you'll know that it is in contrast with Luke chapter 4 verse 1 to 13. This is where we see Jesus being tempted with the three temptations: the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. So the first man failed, but the second man conquered. This was Jesus Christ. So immediately they sinned, their eyes were opened, and they knew now that they were naked. So verse 8 to 13, we see that immediately they made fig leaves to cover themselves, and then they had God walking in the garden. So God came and confronted Adam about what had happened. And then Adam, in verse 12, tried to blame God about what he had done. Now, here's what verse 12 actually said. Verse 12, "Then the man said, 'The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate.'" Actually, he tried to blame God and also the woman at the same time. But you see, the accusation on God did not have any grounds. Because when God created the woman, he simply paraded her in front of Adam. And then Adam was the one who chose her to be his wife. We saw this in chapter 2 verse 22 to 24. And then when God confronted the woman, she blamed the serpent, meaning that she did not know that Satan was possessing the serpent. Now verse 14 through to 15, we see God cursing the serpent. But remember that God knew that Satan was inside the serpent. So verse 14, it is addressing the serpent alone, verse 14 alone. This is why snakes don't have legs. They walk on their bellies. And when they want to sense the environment, they take their tongues out and taste the air. And by the way, the air is just a form of dust, but in a different form. Now in verse 15, God is addressing the serpent. He's actually prophesying to him about the coming of Christ. And then verse 16 through to 19, God turns to the woman and then curses her. And then he turns to Adam and then curses the whole world for his sake. And then he pronounces death over both of them. Now, lastly, verse 20 to 24, God kills an animal and then makes tunics from its skin to clothe Adam and Eve. And then he had to kick both of them out of the garden so that they would not eat from the tree of life and then live forever with sin inside them. So if I've left anything out, kindly share it in the comment section. Thank you and God bless.